Stop bitching about how hard it is to have your kids home 24/7 now. Creating a new human means responsibility for it all the time. Yes, all the time, not just like 4 hours a day. Life is not extra hard for you or something you choose that way, now live with it. I've seen so many parents crying out about how hard their lives are now with their kids being all around RN, and it really annoys the shit out of me. If you can't handle your kids being around, then yes, maybe you shouldn't have brought some into this world. Edit. For all the people saying I am not allowed an opinion because I have no kids and don't know how hard it is, that's not the point I'm making. I truly believe how hard it is. However, welcome to parenthood. Now you are actually in charge of raising your kids instead of letting someone else do the job in daycare. Noon forced you to have kids, your choice, your life. Bye. There's a vast difference between, who I hope to God you were complaining about, the assholes that have kids and are practically bored with them once they start being autonomous individuals that are whining because now they have to actually fucking get off their asses and parent, and the parents working from home on top of teaching their kids and trying to keep them entertained while they work from home. One set of parents are lazy fuckwads, the other set is actually trying and should be allowed to vent when they're overwhelmed by everything. Edit. Because damn, this blew up. To all the parents struggling with maintaining work and your kids, I believe in you guys. You're doing great and your kids will appreciate all you've done for them when this is over. I hear your struggles during the day due to my mom working from home. She's a call center rep for music and arts, and no, I am not a teen, it's just cheaper and I pay my bills, and while she deals with asshole parents who don't want to be bothered with their kids, she makes an effort to chat with some of those that are overwhelmed when she can, because she realizes some of you need it. I wish all of you the best. Edit 2, Electric Boogaloo. For those of you who don't seem to understand context or are straight up not reading my comment, shitty ass parents who don't take care of their kids are the ones that ain't allowed to complain they're now trapped with the kids they knew they didn't want. Parents that are doing everything within their power to not only educate and entertain their kids on top of working to keep the bills paid are and should be encouraged to vent, as this is a difficult time, and with all ways to make this easier on their kids and themselves being closed. This applies to libraries and parks, not just daycare. It's stressful for all parties involved. No one plans for a pandemic after all. Especially not ones as sudden as this. I don't need to have kids to tell you that. I agree, somewhat. You shouldn't complain about having kids if you chose to have kids. However, for me, this new stress comes from now being the parent, teacher, lunch lady, and also trying to do my job from home at the same capacity I did in the office. It's a constant struggle to make sure everything is working right. That the meals and spreadsheets are balanced. And that screens aren't the only source of entertainment. I don't even have kids, but honestly just let them complain. I have to imagine being stuck at home and not being able to take your kids anywhere for family activity has to get real old after the 100th board game or the 65th episode of Paw Patrol. Parents aren't saying I don't want to be with my kids # they suck. They're saying it's difficult to handle kids in circumstances beyond their control, aka can't go to school or even to a playground. It's not having the kids. It's being completely limited to do anything with them. Everyone has issues. Quit judging people for how they're handling this when you don't know the circumstances. I don't think it's just the kids that they have the issue with. A lot of children have special needs, not just learning difficulties but all sorts of needs, often undiagnosed and not easy to deal with. Not all kids are the same. You can't lump them all in the same boat because they're kids. Kids need exercise, need their brain stimulating, to be their best selves. That's not exactly easy in these times. Kids are probably all anxious now, as is the rest of the world. Parents are either hiding the truth from them, in which case kids are probably confused as hell why they're not going to school, causing anxiety, or the parents have told them about the virus, causing anxiety. Or a hybrid, telling them the basics but sugarcoating it still anxiety. Most people don't usually need to work while looking after kids. It's so much more distracting to work while having kids. If you ignore the kids and work, kids will go mad. If you ignore work, Your boss will go mad. More anxiety for parents. Financial issues affecting everyone. More anxiety. Kids aren't themselves during this. I bet at least 90% of children have had massive behavioral/anxiety changes that they've never had before, and parents can't go out to get advice, therapists, etc. Parents can't have other people help them with child care, even for an hour. You are making too many sweeping statements about children, statements that don't account for children being individuals and having emotions. I'm guessing you don't have kids, otherwise you'd realize that most pre-corona children are completely different to the children now, as are parents. Even in childless relationships, I can guarantee there will be more divorces and pregnancies after this quarantine. It's affecting couples who have known each other years, influencing major life decisions, because it's forcing everyone together. Is this different from people complaining about the quarantine and how it's affected everyone? We all signed a lease, had a job, had kids, had hobbies, etc. By choice. I think complaining about it getting harder or changing is fair. Truly unpopular. Before they had kids, they should have known that a life-changing global outbreak would come out of nowhere. Serious question, what is with all the parenting gatekeeping on Reddit? Maybe it's just the sub, but the people posting about raising children sound an awful lot like children themselves. It's not that we have our kids 24/7. It's that we have our kids 24/7 without any of the support systems we typically have in place. No park, no beach, no museum, no run to the store, no visit to grandma, no seeing other friends and play dates, no extracurricular activities. Never on such a scale have parents had to parent like this. We are a herd species. We live in communities for a reason. It takes a village, remember? No opportunity for the parent to recharge and converse with other adults. No play groups, mommy and baby groups. None of that, on top of which you are expected to still perform at the same rate as before with your job. LOL, if you still have a job. Depending on the age of the child, it's almost impossible. There is absolutely no respite and no idea when we will get one. Could be months. Even your job gives you days off. No such thing right now. And yet I might be a great mom, but there's a reason I'm not a teacher. Not all of us are crafty or athletic or amazing cooks. Not all of us are super creative, nor do we all have the resources to buy the stuff necessary to do all these things. We all have our skills and defaults, which is why we have schools and support systems. This is a completely unprecedented situation. Never on such a scale has humanity had to parent like this. And to those saying kids are a drain to society, who do you think is going to take care of you when you reach 80 and can't wipe your own ass? I hope those kids have more compassion than you do.